Welcome, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel here with my partner, Clark Kellogg. Just ahead on College Hoops Tonight, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. We'll preview some of the biggest games coming up this week in the NCAA, as well as show you the best action from around the nation. But we begin with a special player who was an easy choice as our player of the week in college basketball.
Garrison had as good a week as we have seen from a small forward all season. He was nearly unstoppable in all facets of the game.
It was a magical week for him, Clark, no doubt about it. The fans really got behind him as the points kept piling up, and you could see him feed off their energy. He's a cult hero to those people now, and if he has a few more weeks like this one, he'll be one of the all-time legends at that university. Now let's take a look ahead to the games that get top billing on the schedule in the days to come. This will be a fantastic battle. This is shaping up to be a prototypical style versus style matchup. Great scorers on one side of the court, great defenders on the other. This is going to be a real showdown.
Stanford should come out on top if I had to make a prediction. Their backcourt is so solid this year, and their guards love to get out and run. That gives them a huge advantage in a game that should be
Welcome, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel, here with my partner, Clark Kellogg. Just ahead on College Hoops Tonight, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. We'll preview some of the biggest games coming up this week in the NCAA, as well as show you the best action from around the nation. But we begin with a special player who was an easy choice as our Player of the Week in college basketball.
Loxa is our choice this week, and he might be winning an even bigger award at the end of the year. There's a lot of talk about him as a Player of the Year candidate.
It was a magical week for him, Clark, no doubt about it. The fans really got behind him as the points kept piling up, and you could see him feed off their energy. He's a cult hero to those people now, and if he has a few more weeks like this one, he'll be one of the all-time legends at that university. Now let's take a look ahead to the games that get top billing on the schedule in the days to come. The conference tournaments are upon us, and no matchup looms larger. This game is a crucial grudge match between a pair of the best teams in the Pac-10.
USC would be my pick here. They're so strong on the inside that I believe they'll be just too tough to match up with. It would really surprise me if that talent discrepancy on the inside doesn't tell the tale of this game.
And we have another upcoming contest that promises to be a classic. This conference tournament showdown should have more action than a typical game between these teams in the Pac-10.
Washington plays a brand of defense that should make the difference in this game. They are a tough team to score against. And if you don't squeeze the orange, they'll take it. I think they'll be in top form for this contest.
There was no shortage of excitement on the court in the past few days, so let's take a look at our games of the week. We get started with an important conference battle in the Big Ten. Michigan State was victorious over Wisconsin.
The Michigan State Spartans made the most of their opportunity to move up, and that's going to serve them very well as we get closer to conference tournament time, even if it's just in seeding position. Michigan State really muscled up down low and was able to convert a lot of easy chances close to the basket. Whether it was the big men or the guards, they made the most of their opportunities. They established their inside presence from the start and were able to rely on getting their points down low throughout the game.
And two teams, each enjoying a spot in the top 25, got together. Mississippi State defeated LSU.
It was a real treat to see these teams both come to play in what turned out to be a fantastic game. They showed us why they deserved their spots in the top 25. This was an entertaining and fun game to watch. Parkinson was a man possessed. His 23 points led the team. Watching him basically put his teammates on his back and single-handedly carry them to the victory in a big game situation like this was stupendous.
That's our show, everyone. For all of us here at It is an annual rite of spring, bringing with it excitement and emotion that can be found in no other sporting event. The NCAA Tournament. Your wait is finally over, the brackets are ready, and the drama of March Madness is about to begin. Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel, and this is the NCAA Championship Basketball Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Joining me at the anchor desk, as always, my partner, Clark Kellogg. We're all set to show you the seedings and pairings, so get out your bracket sheet, get those pencils ready. Here are the basics. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. The tournament committee hands out the remaining 34 bids on an at-large basis. An opening round game will take place on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. But before we unveil the brackets for this season, here's a look at the final top 25 media poll of the season. There's one big change you'll notice in the rankings. We have a new team in the top 25 this week. The Texas Tech Red Raiders are back in the poll as the number 25 team. The poll voters have had their say in the national ranking since November, but the time has come to hand over the reins to the selection committee. It's time to talk about the topic that has a lot of players and coaches holding their breath right now, the NCAA tournament bubble. These are the 10 teams that aren't worried as much about where they'll be playing as if they'll be playing. Clark, who jumps out at you there?
Duke had the chance to set themselves apart from the rest of the bubble team, but they never could get over that hump and guarantee themselves a spot.
You got that right. And who else might be in the same position?
Rice could have sealed their invitation with a better regular season finish, but the fact is they play in a very tough conference, and that does weigh heavily in their favor.
I'm sure it's been a long week for those teams, but the wait's almost over. The NCAA Selection Committee has finished its meeting, and we're ready to unveil the top 4 seeds in this year's tournament. The Mississippi State Bulldogs are the top overall seed, and they will play in the East Regional. They begin the tournament as the dominant team in college basketball. They've been ranked #1 in the media poll for the past 2 weeks. We'll soon find out if they can live up to their billing. On to the second #1 seed, who will play in the San Antonio Regional. The Utah Utes are seeking their 3rd NCAA championship in school history. The North Carolina Tar Heels are our 3rd #1 seed, and they'll play in the St. Louis Regional. They return to the tournament after not making the field last year, so this will be a new experience for some of their younger players. And finally, our 4th #1 seed will play in the San Jose Regional. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights are in the tournament field as a #1 seed for the 4th time in the history of their program. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the #1 seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, the winner of the East Regional will play the winner of the San Antonio Regional in the other semifinal game. First up, we take a look at the East Regional. The Mississippi State Bulldogs are the top seed, finishing at 26-6. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the SEC. They will take on the winner of the opening round play-in game between Maryland Eastern Shore with 15 wins and UNC Wilmington from the Colonial Athletic Association. And now the #8 seed, the Arizona Wildcats, come into the tournament on the strength of a 3rd-place finish in their conference regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. They're going to play the #9 seed, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, who were 3rd in their conference, finishing at 21-10. Vanderbilt enters the field as the #4 seed from the SEC. It's yet another appearance in the brackets for a school that's no stranger to the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the #13 seed, the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles. Finished the season with 21 wins.
The Vanderbilt Commodores are going to provide serious matchup problems to any team that doesn't have depth and defensive ability at both guard spots. They have outstanding backcourt play at both ends of the court. It's the main reason they've made it this far.
Texas comes in as the #5 seed, finishing at 22-11. And they will take on the 12th seed from Conference USA, the Tulane Green Wave, with 19 wins. Next up is the #2 seed. The Wisconsin Badgers are the regular season champions from the Big Ten. They'll be going up against the #15 seed, the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos, with 17 wins. This will be their 5th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. Our #7 seed is from the Big 12. The Oklahoma Sooners were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They are going to play the #10 seed, the Duke Blue Devils, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 18-12. Georgetown comes in as the #3 seed, finishing. The Michigan Wolverines are in as the #6. I think this could win. Next up, we'll take the Utah Utes. Rhode Island comes in as the number 8 seed, finishing at Washington comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 21-10. And they'll take on the 13th. LSU enters the field as the number 5 seed. Our number 2 seed is from the ACC. The Florida State Seminoles had a tremendous year that included Next up is the number 7 seed. The Colorado State Rams have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Mountain West Conference. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Colorado Buffaloes, with 20 wins. This is their 15th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. The California Golden Bears are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. And now the number 6 seed, the Texas Tech. What a tremendous regional final we'd have in this bracket if the number 1 and 2 seeds here make it through the first. On to our third bracket of the North Carolina Tar Heels are the top seed, finishing at 27-7. They were conference tournament champions in the ACC. They'll take on the Fresno State Bulldogs, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their 8th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. Our number 8 seed is from the SEC. The South Carolina Gamecocks were rewarded for their Richmond enters the field as the number 4 seed from the Villanova Wildcats are in as the number 5 seed. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed, the St. Joseph's Hawks. Kansas State comes in. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Oklahoma State Cowboys are the conference tournament champions from the Big 12. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Arizona State Sun Devils, with 22 wins. They return once more to the very familiar, and now the number 3 seed. This bracket has the potential to give us a sense. And finally, let's have a look at the San Jose Regional. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights are the top seed, finishing at 25-5. They were winners of the regular season championship in the Big East. They'll take on the Terriers of St. Francis, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their 5th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. Next up is the number 8 seed. The Horned Frogs of TCU are the conference tournament champions from the Mountain West Conference. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the Syracuse Orange, with 20 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. Florida comes in as the number 4 seed. Virginia Tech, Providence enters, and now the number 7 seed. The Cincinnati Bearcats are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on our number 6 seed. On the surface, I'd have to say this regional might be the most difficult. Clark, give us your take on the tournament. Now, let's bring the conference picture into focus. The Big 12 gets 7 teams. The Pac-10 with 6. 6 out of... Here's the list of the teams that were on the bubble head. All right, Clark, now that we know Welcome, College Hoops fans, to the 2K Sports Season Preview Show. We're glad to have you along for what's sure to be another outstanding season of college hoops action. I'm Greg Gumbel, and with me at the anchor desk, my partner, Clark Kellogg. We're ready to give you a look ahead to all the ups and downs of the upcoming season, so let's get the ball rolling with the best teams in the nation in the very first Top 25 poll of the season. Here are the Big Five, the top teams in the country as we begin the season. The Virginia Tech Hokies come in as the #1 ranked team, followed by Villanova, St. John's, Florida, and Cal. The Virginia Tech Hokies are projected as the favorites here in the early going. They've got a whole crew of high school mysteries. Villanova is in the St. John comes in as Florida. Cal is. Here's the next group of teams in our preseason top 25. What's your impression of that set of teams?
We've seen plenty of future national champions come out of this group.
The LSU. How about this list?
This looks to me like the deepest preseason top 25 poll we've seen in years.
The Missouri top. There was no shortage of. The Kansas State coach is the Georgia. We've come to the part of the show when we look at the top players, the Aggies. As for our next up is a player that's drawing. Let's move on to a player. And finally, we have another. Now let's move on to the second team All-Americans. Not such a bad list.